Hi everyone, welcome back to DIY with the Dewey. So today we're going to mess with this Razer Power Rider 360. The battery is dead right now in it, and we are going to try to swap it out with a 20 volt Dewalt battery with a battery adapter. So here are the parts I'm going to use. Battery adapter, we have connectors, battery, 2 screwdrivers, 1 flathead, 1 Phillips, and some wire cutter crimps. And I think I also need an adjustable wrench as well, but that's pretty much it. It's not turning on right now, so I'm thinking the battery's dead. That's usually the main cause of the issue for these. Yeah, basically we'll put in the new battery, and if it still doesn't work, then we'll troubleshoot it. I'll show you guys how I troubleshoot it. Alright, let's see what we're dealing with. So we'll have to remove this cover. So it's little Phillips screws. I see 4 of them. Looks like these 2 nuts have to come out. Let's see if we have access to it from the front. Okay, so we have to get an adjustable wrench as well, just to hold the back, keep it from rotating. Alright, we're gonna keep these together so we know. And on the other side. The same thing on this side. Oh, cool. So here's what the inside looks like. So this is chain driven. Just go ahead and unplug this. And that's how that's wired up. So it is chain driven. That's good news because we have extra motors we can swap out if needed. It uses the same brake system as the MX 125 for rear brakes. We'll have to pump up this tire. It's flat. There's the battery. And most likely the battery is dead. Let's go ahead and unplug the battery. Press this tab. And then undo this Phillips screw. So we need to remove the front cover as well in order to get the battery out, it looks like. 2 Phillips screws, 1 right there, and 1 on the back side. Okay. The screws are out. Let's see if this will come off. Okay, so that's how you remove the front cover. There we go. I'm going to put the washer and the nut back on this. Here, let's go ahead and put everything in here. And we're gonna keep all the screws together. All right, let's go ahead and pull off these wire connectors. All right. So we're gonna leave that one on. And that is the charging port. Phillips screwdriver. Oh, we're missing a screw. So this is for the battery tie down. Like that. So there is a screw somewhere on the ground still. Okay, well, this is pretty simple. There's not much to it after you remove the covers. You see how this is the throttle controller right here. Motor, this is chain driven. This is for the switch, power switch. This is a charging cable. And then up here you have a brake. Here's the throttle switch. So this gives throttle whenever you hit it and gives power to these wires. So these are pretty simple to understand. I've fixed a lot of these little razors and they all kind of use the same throttle controller. This here, so I'll try to explain it to you really quick. It's pretty easy. This is the battery. So positive is red, black is the negative, ground. This is for the motor. So 2 wires going straight to the motor. This one is the brake. So brake switch. Whenever you hit the brake, it sends a signal to this wire. So then you can't give throttle while the brake is pressed. This is a throttle wire. So whenever these two connect, it gives power to the motor. So we just explained all those. This is the charging port, charging cable. And then here's the on and off switch, toggle switch. So when these are connected, it turns the power on to this controller. And that's all the wires that are on there. And this is a 12 volt unit. So this motor is a 12 volt. What we're gonna do is I am going to run a 20 volt Dewalt battery with a battery adapter on this. So we'll make it faster than it is factory. Before I do that, let's go ahead and pump this tire up. This tire is pretty flat. I have a bicycle pump, but a bicycle pump won't connect correctly. This one has a twist on connector, so then you can actually fit it through this. All right, let's go ahead and turn this on. It's dirty, so I couldn't tell. Yeah, so it's 36 PSI. So I'm gonna run it at 25 PSI. I think that's plenty. My daughter's pretty light. All right, let's do the fun part. We're going to hook up the battery. So what I like to do is I get my old battery, the one that's bad, and we're gonna snip off these wires to use this wire connector. Right. So what I'm gonna do first is cut off this negative. I'm gonna go over here, cut off the positive. We'll go and recycle this battery. Okay, so we have these two wires coming out of this right now. Let's go ahead and strip the wire. Okay, we have one of these adapters that came with this. I don't know if yours comes with it or not, but they used to be included. So I'm gonna go ahead and put, let's do positive will be orange. Okay, so there, those are two are connected. Positive, orange again. Twist it a little, just keep it from fraying. So lift this up. There we go. Lock it in place, and then same with the other side. Here, let me tuck this in a little further. There we go. Okay. There. Now we have to see where we will be able to mount this. Alright, let's leave the battery disconnected. So with this, we're going to go ahead and plug it in. We're going to do some testing before we put everything together. So plug this connector back in. There we go. That's the battery connector. This is the charger, so we need our cover. So here's our switch right here. We'll go ahead and reconnect this. So I still left the battery. There's no battery connected to this right now. We're not gonna mount it yet until we test and we know everything is working. So go ahead and plug in the charging port. Blue in the middle. Red on the outside. Okay. So now we're going to plug in this battery. This is in the off position. Go ahead and turn it on. All right, we have power. Now I'm going to lift up the front wheel. I'm going to lift up the front and give it some throttle to see what happens. Lift up the front wheel, give it some throttle. It works. Okay. All right, well, we got it working. All it is just the battery, so I didn't have to troubleshoot anything to make sure. If you're having issues with your razor, main thing is you check the battery to make sure there's voltage going through into this. And then what I would do is I would disconnect the motor like that. From here, you put your voltmeter on there, and then you test. Once you give it throttle, you want to test to see if this comes out, if there's any power coming through to the motor. If you're not getting any power, then it's possible your throttle controller unit is bad. And you can also see right here, there's a light. And usually this is a circuit, it's like a surge protector as well. Yes, so this is a surge protector as well. If you look close right there, there's, I think it says 15 amps. So if you look close, it's kind of hard to see. Yeah, so 15 amp. So then it's a little surge protector. If your vehicle isn't clicking on or staying on and it always shuts off, then you should probably bypass that. All right, well, it looks like everything's working good. We're gonna go ahead and piece it together, and I'm gonna find a place to mount this. So power is off. Let's undo the battery. Let's plug the motor back in. So with this factory battery spot, I don't really want it there because you can't access it from the outside. We need it to be able to slide on and off easily. I just reattached the screw, basically just to keep it together. If I ever decide to change it back to the factory setting, a factory battery, I have that spot for it. Here's the little cover with the power switch. And I would recommend keeping this on because you don't want anyone putting the fingers into the chain. That would be bad. So the chain guard, basically that's what this is a little chain guard. What we're gonna do is we're gonna tuck this. I'm gonna unplug this, and I want to tuck these wires underneath. There we go, like that, and where the battery used to go. And I'm going to route this wire up through the middle. Do you see that little slot right here? Right here. I'm gonna route it through there. Let's go ahead and try to put our cover back on. Oh, so it has to go through the middle because, yeah, the forks or the handlebars go through those two sides. So we're gonna put the brake wire and the throttle wire through the middle. How does that look? Let's make sure everything lines up. So it's all trial and error when you're doing like a custom fit like this. All right, I think that would be a perfect spot. Right here. So we're gonna mount this. Yeah, we're gonna mount that, and then the power switch will be pretty close as well to where the battery pack will go. Let's do that. So we're going to mount this right here, and we'll put some screws. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put these long bolts back in. Okay, so you see it's coming, it went through. Put your washer on. So we're putting it back together just the way we found it, or when we took it apart. We want everything very factory to make it very user-friendly and safe. So we're gonna get everything back together the way we took it apart. Okay, let's go on the other side. So grab the washer, put the washer in first, then put the nut on. Okay. We have 6 of these screws. So there was one right there. two on top right here. One on this side. Okay, so you see there's still this screw right here. All right, we have two more screws on the bottom. Down here. One more screw on the bottom. There, do you see? Can you hold this here? Last screw. Okay, let's mount the battery pack adapter. So what I like to do is find a flat spot somewhere. Let's do it right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get 3 screws. I might have to use just like wooden screws because this is pretty long in order to go through. Okay, so we have some 30-pound Scotch mount. This 3M tape, double-sided tape. This is the one with the red backing. So what I like to do is I usually mount this first, and then I put screws still, because I don't want this falling off. I don't trust just the double-sided tape by itself. So we're gonna put a little strip about, I would say about 3-inch. About 2.5, 3 inches. And we're gonna put it right through the middle like that. Go ahead and expose this. Okay, before you do that, let's put it back on and we'll wait. Okay, so what I need to do is I'm gonna drill out these 3 holes, and we're gonna use these screws to hold it in place. Oh, that one's really short. All right, we'll grab our drill. Put on, we're going to use a pretty small, well, let's do an 11/16 drill bit, and I think that's a pretty close size. We want our screw to be able to go through it smoothly. It's not going through very fast. There we go. Oh, we went right through the tape, but it's okay. Okay, so do you see the pilot holes now? Now I'm going to make the holes a little larger so our screw can go through there easily. Be careful you don't go right through your finger. All right, keep your fingers away. Ah! Just kidding.
Why did you do that?
I just scared her. She was intensely watching me drill. So I'm thinking the battery pack can be right there. And our Dewalt battery will be able to slide right there. Yeah? That should be pretty easy. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and make pilot holes too for. Let's go ahead and make little pilot holes. Here. So we're gonna go ahead and expose this now. All right, just a little simple, little pilot holes. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and put screws. So we have our pilot holes, these. Perfect. And then one more screw on the bottom. I'm gonna grab a shorter screw. This one's too long. Okay, so I found a screw that is the same length, about an inch, but the head is much smaller, so it should slide inside. It'll fit a little better. There. Alright, let's test this. Pretty good. And now we slide the battery on. It fits. Okay, now we need to go get a helmet because we don't know what this thing's gonna do. Okay, you ready? Let's go ahead and give this a shot. So this is our first time trying this. We purchased it broken with a bad battery, and we haven't even tried it with the factory battery in it at all. But I looked up the stats and it said it was 9 miles per hour. We're using a 20-volt battery, so it should be, it'll probably be around 14 miles per hour, kind of like the scooter. Yeah, just be careful, okay? You can let go of that button whenever, and the brake, do you see where the brake is? Do that. Okay, so what's your first impression?
At first I thought it was scary.
You thought it was scary?
Yeah.
Well, what do you think now?
It's fun.
It's fun? Yeah, you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a pretty nice upgrade. Yeah, not too bad. We went 9.6 miles an hour. So I don't know how fast the factory one is. Maybe it's just the way it's geared. Yeah, so there's still a lot of battery power in here. Yeah, it's still max, and we've been playing for about half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thinking this probably lasts just as long as the scooter and the MX 125 bike with the same upgrade, and it usually lasts over an hour easily. And we have a whole bunch of these battery packs, so we can just keep popping them in and they can keep riding. But all right, well, thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button and share this post if you found this kind of amusing or informational.
And click the bell.
Click the bell. Thanks. Bye.